So you mentioned the USFL. So what they're doing is really fascinating. They're taking the viewer inside the huddle. Players are mic'd. The USFL playoffs, I think this is also very interesting. They're kind of doing it like college basketball in the Final Four.
Yep.
There's a predetermined site, and we're lucky enough to have the USFL Final Four right up the road at the Pro Football Hall of Fame Stadium in Canton. So they're going to have the two semifinal games next Saturday, and then the championship game will be July 3rd, which is the following weekend. And for those of you that haven't been following, the semifinals will be the Philly Stars against the New Jersey Generals. The Generals are 8-1. And then in the other semifinal game, which is the night game, the 8 o'clock start next Saturday, it's New Orleans, the Breakers, against the Birmingham Stallions, who are also 8-1. And then I mentioned the title game will be July 3rd on Sunday at the Pro Football Hall of Fame Stadium. Right now, we're joined by the coach of the Birmingham Stallions. Not just the coach. He's the head coach. He's the offensive coordinator. He's the general manager. Wow. I'm not sure if he's also in charge of concessions, but he does it all. Skip Holtz, the coach of the Birmingham Stallions, joins us on the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show. Coach, great to see you. Thanks for joining us.
Well, I appreciate you guys having me for sure. And there's no doubt with that introduction, I bit off way more than I can chew. I had no idea what I was getting into until I got here and thought, man, what am I doing? What was I thinking?
What has your first year experience been like?
It's been awesome. Absolutely loved it. I mean, it has been, I used the analogy the other day. It's almost like you take 50 players, and talented players, and you say you have to take this football class. And if you want to keep playing, you want to continue your career, you got to make an A. So you walk into this meeting room and you pull it out and you say, okay, when we're in this formation, I mean, everybody's pulling out notepads, paper, writing feverishly. Coach, now when the linebacker walks out, I mean, they are into it. And I have really enjoyed it. I think it has been a breath of fresh air with coaching for sure. So I've really enjoyed this first year, and some of the new rules and some of the things the USFL has done has certainly made it unique.
You know, Coach Holtz, I always ask some of the coaches on. We had Coach Jeff Fisher on, and I asked him the same question. In terms of what you're looking to do, what is your goal here with the players? A lot of the players want to get to the next level. What is your main goal and focus in terms of what you would look to accomplish as a coach here in the USFL?
Well, one of the things, I got into college coaching 33 years ago because I love the development side of this game. I love watching the young man come in at 17 years old and leave at 22, watching how he matures as a football player, matures as a student, as a leader. I enjoyed the development side of college football and always said I didn't want anything to do with pro ball. But when you look at the direction of college football right now, it's with the NIL, with the transfer portal, everybody's recruiting, everybody's players, they're in, they're out. It's no longer the same game that I signed up for 33 years ago. When I sat down and talked with Brian Woods about what this league was all about, that's the one thing that I loved about it. What I want is I want to help these young men achieve their goal, whether that is to go play in the NFL, whether that is just because they love the game and they want to play for another 2, 3, or 4 years and they're going to be career USFL guys. I love the competitive side. I love the balance and the equality and the way that they did the draft. I just think it's a great league, and I enjoy coaching, and I have enjoyed the relationships with the young men the most. Where does that lead? I don't know. I didn't get into this with I'm going to use this as a stepping stone, and this is next. I've been doing this for a long time, and so right now I'm enjoying what I'm doing. We'll see what bridges come in front of us as we continue to move forward, but if I end up continuing to do this for another 3 or 4 years, it can be very rewarding.
Coach, did you have, going into the season, going into the league year, did you have a level of play that you thought it would be? And is it better? Is it worse? Is it what you thought it would be? Did you not think ahead into how good the quality of play would be? How does it stack up?
No, and much better than I expected. And I won't say that in a negative way. That my expectation wasn't very high. I didn't have any idea what to expect. I mean, in February, we're talking about playing this game in April, and we go player on our roster. And then I didn't know who my quarterback was, running backs. So then you draft a team in March. We bring them in here in March 17th, and you play April 17th, and all of a sudden you're looking at it. I've never seen our running backs get tackled. I've never seen I've never seen our defense tackle anybody. And everybody said, "What do you expect?" I have no idea what to expect, but I'll tell you what, it has been much better than I could have ever imagined. And I say that because a group of young men have come in and they have been diligent, they have been determined, they have been focused, it is a good product on the field. It doesn't look like it was slapped together, and that's a real testament to the coaches that are in this league and the commitment and the focus of the players that have got into it and how bad they want to continue playing and get film to have that opportunity to continue the game.
Skip, we've seen these leagues emerge and last a couple of years and then fold. So what has to happen this time for the USFL to succeed and survive?
Well, I think once we hit the 7th game, we exceeded any other spring football league going all the way back to the 80s when the USFL did it for 3 years.
Wow.
And then the USFL left and kind of they tried to go to the fall model to compete with the NFL. I think one of the unique things that's going to make this work is the involvement of Fox and NBC. I think they're both committed to it. They're both committed to a spring football league. They're not trying to take over the NFL. They're trying to create another platform. There's so many players. The NFL has got great players. Nobody will dispute that. But there's a lot of guys that can play at that level. They just don't have an opportunity to continue playing once their college eligibilities are up. And this is going to give a young man an opportunity to grow and develop and hopefully either get into the NFL one day or play this game professionally. And as you go through it, these guys are going to make $50,000 to $60,000 over a 4-month period to have an opportunity to continue to play the game that they love. And so I think the Fox and NBC understands the niche they want. They are willing to make a commitment to it. And like I said, there has not been another spring league past 6 games. And so we're in uncharted waters right now when you start talking about what's the off season going to look like. And I think they've done a great job of putting this model together where everybody was in Birmingham. There was no travel. We're all in the hotel together. We're all playing at the same spots. I think it was really a great model. But I think what's going to be really interesting is in a year or 2 years when all of a sudden these franchises getting sold out until their home teams. And then I think that's when you're really going to have an opportunity to see this thing get on its feet and take wings and really start to sprout. But right now I think it's all about building a foundation, and Fox and NBC and the leaders here in the USFL and Moose Johnson and Brian Woods are doing a great job with it.
Skip, the production has been terrific. When you watch the games on NBC and Fox, it looks like you're watching an NFL game just in terms of the camera angles you're getting, the commentating that you're getting. It's all, NFL caliber stuff. And then the other stuff, the production elements, the mic'd players, that's what I most love about
cool.
it. And some of the cameras that are on the field while the game is going on, I think that's really added to it. But last week we had Jeff Fisher on, and I proposed to him an idea. I know that this year everything was centrally played in Birmingham, but I think one of the things that's difficult for fans in New Jersey, particularly because they didn't have any home games, is not having a connection with any players on the roster. So I pitched to Jeff as a possible idea that each team has to have half of their roster or a number with 30%, 40%, whatever, that come from within a circumference of Birmingham. So in your case, it would benefit you greatly. You could have a lot of Alabama and Auburn guys. So I know you, right? I know you like it, but I think so. And I know that Michigan has a former Michigan quarterback, but I think one way to get these fan bases to really care is to give them players that they already have an investment in because they've played regionally college football, and we get to know them and they're stars and we feel attachments to them. I know there's not a team in Columbus or Cleveland, but if there were, and you were to load that team up with Buckeyes, I think it would have an inherently better chance of succeeding just because the fan base knows who they're dealing with. What do you think of that?
I would agree with that. I think it certainly is a hook and a tie to bring people into the game. I know we drafted Bo Scarborough here, who played at Alabama, and he's a rock star. I mean, we can't go anywhere without everybody wants to find Bo. Where's Bo? Where's Bo? Just because he has such name recognition and familiarity in the state of Alabama with him playing at Alabama. And so I think there's definitely something to what you said for viewership. As far as the production's off the charts. Somebody told me that for an NFL playoff game, there's like cameras that are on an NFL playing a playoff game, where we have like 51 cameras.
Wow.
I mean, every official's got a helmet cam, players got helmet cams. There's a drone flying by your head when you're standing on the sideline, going all over. I mean, the production has been off the charts, and it's certainly. You were mentioning having the opportunity to do something on YouTube where everybody's mic'd up and you can hear what's going on the field. That's kind of what's going on right now. Every play you call, your offense is heard by everybody. I mean, so it's very hard when you go to the line and your quarterback checks and 11 guys go to the right side of the field. It's like, okay, they know what we're doing at this point. Everybody knows our offensive calls at this point. So maybe we ought to look at changing some of these.
The Patriots got in a lot of trouble for knowing what the other team was going to do.
Hey, Skip, last thing, Lou, your father, Lou, of course, is he like calling you after every game? Is he breaking down film with you? Is he analyzing how you did as coach that day? What's going on with that?
No, see, he's going to come he'll be up in Canton for the championship game. He had a back surgery right before the season started, so he has not been able to be here in Birmingham, but watches every game, and we have the opportunity to talk on the TV. And I value his input. When you've got a guy that's been as successful as he has and been around the game as long as he has, it'd be foolish not to sit and listen to his advice. So, and he tells me, it's like, you know what, hug your defensive staff and then call me and I'll let you know what I think, when we play real well on defense. But it's been great, and I'm looking forward to him having the opportunity to get up to Canton to be able to see our playoff game with New Orleans on the 25th.
I'm going to drop a couple nickels on you, Skip, to win the semifinals and the championship, and here's why. Guys, Skip coached extensively at the collegiate level, UConn, South Florida, I know, and some other stops. He coached in 12 BS, the big games. BSC?
BCS.
No, not the BCS.
BCS.
Okay,
Yeah.
BCS, I guess. 12 bowl games.
Yeah.
Coach, your record's 8-3 in these big games. So I'm betting on you in the semifinals and the championship to win these, because whatever your secret formula is for winning these big games, you certainly have figured it out. So I'll throw a couple nickels on Birmingham in both of those games. And one other thing, I was lucky enough to work with your dad at ESPN for more than a decade. Without question, the most colorful, fun guy to talk to out of everybody that was up there. And a quick story, I told him that my father, who I lost in 2008, was a huge fan of Lou Holtz in Notre Dame. And he asked me, what was your dad's name? This was still when my father was alive. He said, what was your dad's name? I said, it was Chuck. The next time he came to campus, he had a book signed to my dad and gave it to my dad. And I saw Lou do countless acts of kindness just like that for a million different people. Your dad is just an incredible, incredible man, and I just wanted to commend you on being lucky to have a father like Lou, because one of a kind. Absolutely one of a kind.
Well, I appreciate you saying that. I agree with you wholeheartedly. And a big reason I've been able to have success, teachers like Lou Holtz. That's one of the reasons
it doesn't hurt.
I've been able to have success on the field for sure. So I appreciate kind words. I agree with you 100%. He's a great man, and he is sharp as a tack mentally.
He is.
He's doing fantastic. We just got to keep him going physically. And this surgery that he went through. But I appreciate your kind words.
Absolutely. Give him our best, and Coach, good luck in the semifinals and then the championship game if you get there, and on to next season at the USFL.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it. Ready to get out of some of this heat, but
I bet.
I really like your idea. I really like your idea of having everybody play geographically with us sitting here in the middle of the SEC region.
Yeah, I bet you do.
It's a great idea, and I promote it.
Just for what it's worth, Fisher just didn't like it at all. He's up there in Michigan.
Nah, I'm cool.
Coach, thanks so much for joining us.
Right,
we appreciate the time.
Thanks, Coach.
Appreciate it, guys. Thank you. Have a great day.
Really good football coaching. Think about that. Jason and I were looking at each other when he was saying we didn't have any players until March 17th, and then we had a game 4 weeks later. He is the general manager, the offensive coordinator, the head coach. He's doing it all, and it really speaks to his football acumen, because
You gotta
they're
love,
8-1.
You gotta love football to be doing what they
Woo!
Like to be out there just putting that work in.
No kidding.
And you can tell the passion just come off the page when you talk about football.